Track day riders aren't that much slower in the middle of the corner than a professional racer, but where they are slower is when you're upright braking, trailing the brakes into the corner, and then accelerating out the corner. In the middle phase of the corner, there's only so fast a motorcycle will go. So we'll see here, as I'm slowing down safely, what Dan does. And that is release the brake. And as he's released that brake and accelerated away from me, he's now missed the apex. But where this becomes an issue and actually makes it really dangerous is when there's other riders in front of you. I will say in this video, I think this guy was actually running wide himself, but the point remains the same. We're now coming onto the back straight. And what's funny about this clip is when I showed this Dan afterwards and didn't say anything, he actually couldn't believe that the rider in front of him jammed the brakes on and nearly made him crash. But the reality is, what this rider was doing was actually correct. So they're more or less travelling at the same speed at this point, but Dan begins to brake. As he's only braking softly at this point, he's not really slowing down. So at this point, the rider in front is now beginning to slow down quite quickly. And this is where Dan is going to run into trouble, because as he begins to release the brake and rush into the corner, he's got no control whatsoever over his speed. So now he's releasing the brake, and you see how close that was to him running into the back of someone. The other problem with riding like this is as you start leaning into the corner and you're going into the danger zone on the edge of the tyre, if you need to slow down more, the only way you can do that is by squeezing the brake harder. And now as you're turning in too fast and you squeeze the brake even harder, there's a much higher chance that you're going to lose the front. It's far safer to brake harder upright when you've got lots of grip than to brake harder when you're leant over turning into the corner.